there, and welcome to our latest episode of What's on the Horizon. I'm Lori Sharonbrack here with Chris Shooker of Digital Horizons. And lately we've been talking a lot about motorized shades. And so you gave a really good overview in one of them about what motorized shades are. So now I want to ask, how much do motorized shades cost?
It's a really good question. And it's also kind of hard to answer.
I imagine.
We do have kind of an average number that we give people.
Sure.
Just based on historical precedent of our installations. Because when we install motorized shades, a lot of times all the time there's different numbers of shades. No house gets the same amount.
Right.
They're not all the same size. They're not installed the same. They're not the same fabric. But we've gone back and we've looked over dozens of projects, and we've taken the total cost of that system, divided it by the number of shades that there are, and we get this very broad, very generic number. And really what impacts the cost of that shade are a couple main factors.
Okay.
One, obviously dimensions. How big is your window? There are window treatments that can be as small as 20 by 20. So you can put them in very small, think small windows above your bed.
Or your one over your kitchen sink
the
over
kitchen
there,
here. Yep. And they can be 20 feet wide.
Holy cats.
Because there are window treatments from Lutron and other manufacturers too, where you deploy what's called a coupled system.
Okay.
Which means you have a shade that has a motor in it, in the roller typically, or always, and you then can join corresponding shades to that main one, and that motor in the first one is strong enough to drive all of the other ones. And so you can have, I think, up to 4 or 5 or 6 shades coupled together, and obviously it depends on the fabric and their size. But it's a great way for things to be more cost effective. Your fabric selection matters significantly. You can, one of the more popular lines from Lutron is their Triathlon series. Comes in a battery or a low voltage powered option. And within Triathlon, we often will see the price double just based on your fabric selection.
Sure.
So the really neat thing about working with Lutron, when we start the conversation with clients and we work with them to help them understand some of the costs involved, Lutron has a great system where we can put in the window size. We can put in the style of the shade, whether it's the Savoya line, if it's Triathlon, if it's Palladium, whatever it might be. And we can say, hey, in this configuration, you're looking at a price of, as an example, $1,000 to $2,000.
Sure.
And then it leaves it up to the customer to kind of dictate where they want to be.
Makes sense.
So when they go through the fabric selection process and they're looking at $1 sign versus $4 sign fabrics, they know where they're at in the range. We've worked with window treatment companies now for over a decade, and Lutron being probably our last and our third that we've worked with. They by far have the most friendly way of conveying pricing.
Oh, good.
In previous examples, we would have to give the client our own researched range of numbers, and we'd have to give them a price on every single fabric that they chose. And so while we can do that when they pick one, if we just say, hey, you could be as little as this or as much as this, depending on where you want to put yourself fabric-wise, it's very flexible. And then the last option, and there's a few more, but the last main one is basically going to be the style of shade that you choose. Your Lutron has quite a range. They just introduced a line called Triathlon Select. And it's a very basic line of shades. It's only battery operated. They have no fascia options. The default fabric options, there's 2 translucent and 2 blackout. You can get and I forget the exact dimensions, so don't quote me on this, but I believe it's up to 80 by 60 for $600, or $649 depending on if you do a blackout fabric. And for a Lutron shade, it's an extremely well built. It's extremely quiet. For that option, that's their least expensive option. And then they have what they refer to as their Palladium, which is just an incredible piece of engineering. The fabric, the motor that they have in a Palladiom shade, when the fabric rolls off of the tube,
Okay.
what you hear is the friction of the fabric unrolling it from itself. You don't actually hear a motor. We've installed them before, and when we've installed them and clients get to hear it, it's just absolutely eye-opening how quiet it is. It's great, but they're very expensive. So your range on those is several thousands of dollars as a starting point. So when we do window treatments, just to kind of wrap everything up on the topic, when we do window treatments, most of the time we're doing it, maybe not most of the time, probably let's say half the time we're doing it in a new construction scenario.
Okay.
And in that environment, we have the ability to pre-wire it. And so when you pre-wire for a shade, you get the benefits of getting power over the low voltage wiring, but also the communication over the low voltage wiring.
Yes.
So there's no batteries involved. You don't have any wireless remotes, even though you can use them still. But there's costs involved with that.
Sure.
So what we tell people is, under a new construction scenario, when we're pre-wiring for a Lutron shade and we're measuring for the shade, we're installing, we're doing post adjustment and doing everything else that's involved, generally you're going to spend about $1,500 to $2,000 per shade. And there's a lot of factors that come into play there. Your shade part of that can be probably 70 or 80% of that.
Sure.
And then the rest is install, it's wiring and things like that. But if you are okay with a battery operated shade and maybe you're in an existing home, it's very easy to do a Lutron shade for that $600 mark. And then, if you do a Palladiom shade, you can spend thousands and thousands of dollars also. So long story short, there's kind of a shade for everybody with Lutron, and the price is kind of what you make it.
Got it.
It can be fairly inexpensive, or it can be very expensive, depending on what performance you want, what fabric selections you'd like, what you want them to look like, and all of everything else.
Cool. I mean, that sounds like you said, there's kind of something for everybody's budget. Just depends on how you want to enter that market there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that great overview. That was a really good one. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and make sure you tune in for the next video in our series. Thanks for joining us today.